You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my
For me,
enemy.
growing up in a really strict religious family, Christianity was all about rules, regulations, and expectations that I never felt I could live up to. As my rebellious teen years led me down dark roads of substance abuse, self-harm, and sexual sin, it became cemented in my mind that I would never be good enough to be called a Christian. When I was 19, I met my husband. Several months later, we got pregnant. As a young wife and a mother, I tried to squash that rebellion that I felt inside, and it didn't work. So one night, I was drinking, and I made a really bad choice that could have ruined my family and my marriage. And then I lied about it for several years. During the time I was hiding my sin from my husband, I was regularly coming to Gateway. I started to learn more about God's grace and what that meant for me. And I got to a point in my walk with the Lord where I couldn't go any further. And every word that was preached and every sermon that I heard and every word that I read in the Bible just convicted me to my core, and I couldn't go anymore without confessing my sin. You know, the day that I confessed my sin to my husband was the day that I felt God's grace for the first time in my life.
I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child.
Once I was engulfed in shame and guilt by addiction to pornography, which caused me to do things I thought I would never do. I was driven by despair, and it controlled me. I was living in darkness that I fought my whole life to refrain from. I was completely lost, and absolutely no one could help me. But then God showed me the real meaning of His Son, His gift to us, Jesus. Not only did He die the death I should have died, but He resurrected and conquered death, giving me life. He continually releases the shackles of despair and gives me freedom and life. Now I am addicted to loving and serving my beautiful Savior by sharing my story.
Let us sing our freedom.
I was born and raised on both sides of the family in Christianhood, but my life wasn't always followed by the book. I was somewhat off the path, not until destruction, and God got my attention until I actually was humbled, in which I cried like a baby and asked God to forgive me for my sins and to show me what He wanted to do. When I think about the cross, I can't help but to think about how good God has been in my life. I like to emphasize the Savior and not the sin, because there's no sin that's greater than another. Once I saw this, I understood what my reason in life was. I understood what my gifts were. I used these gifts accordingly, and not the way I want to see fit, but the way that suits God in the kingdom. I haven't always been perfect, and I never will be, but I know that God has Son, Jesus Christ, saved me, and that's what motivates me.
You drown my fears in perfect love. You rescue me, and I will stand and say, I am a child of God. Yes, I am a child of God. I am
I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no